So I welcome you all to this learning experience. Since you are attending this webinar, that shows that you are quite committed to the growth of your business. Whereas you could have been spending this beautiful evening with your family, with your kids or somebody else, or having your dinner or watching a movie or elsewhere. But your presence here in this webinar shows your commitment. So I honor that and respect that. So I welcome you all to this wonderful learning experience, and I hope you are going to get a lot of learning from this. Okay. Wealth creation for SMEs. How you and IPO can create wealth for SMEs. We are going to discuss this. Okay. If we take this one example, this company, Varanium Cloud Limited, the IPO size was 36.6 crores. This company came with an IPO of 36.6 crore in September 22 at the price of 122 rupees per share. Okay. The valuation of this company at that time was 150 crores. And the current market price of the share of this company is 690, making it a very valuable company. The total valuation of the company stands at 695 crores within a short span. September 22 to date as on March, that is 15th March. Okay. So this kind of wealth can be created through SME IPO. This is one more example. Cool Caps Industries Limited. This company came out with an IPO of 11.63 crores in March 22 at a price of 38 rupees per share. The company valuation at that time was around 45 crores. Current market price per share of this company is 503, and the total valuation of the company stands at 580 crores. So this is how wealth can be created with SME IPOs. Okay. Now, what is an IPO? I hope most of you must be knowing what is an IPO, that is initial public offering. As the name denotes, when a company offers its shares to the public for subscription for the first time, that is known as initial public offering or IPO. Okay. Now, if you have an IPO dream, you are in the right place because you are going to learn almost everything about SME IPOs, and that's going to be very helpful for you in fulfilling your IPO dream. Now, the webinar is going to last for around 90 minutes. Mostly it's going to be in English, little bit of Hindi here and there. But the English again I'm going to use is going to be very simple English, not very complicated. This webinar is meant for growth hungry SME businesses, those who want to achieve the next level and create wealth and valuation in their business. Okay. No fluff, only real actionable stuff. That means we are not going to tell you unnecessary stories, unnecessary stuff. Only the stuff which we are going to discuss is actionable things. Okay, how you can do it, what all is involved, what all steps are involved, what you should do, what should not do. Okay. If you have got any questions, I request you to please note down your questions, because in the end, we'll be having a question answer round. And during that time, you can ask your questions. Please don't ask in between. Okay. Now, what I expect from you, that you should not spam here. I have seen people in various webinars that people keep on spamming by putting their phone numbers, their contact details, their email IDs, or their Instagram handles, etc., etc. That's not going to serve any purpose except creating distraction for everybody. Okay. Since you are attending this webinar, I'll expect you to stay till the end, because if you leave in between, you will be missing a lot of useful and valuable information, and half knowledge is of no use. Okay. I expect complete focus from you. If you have got any distractions, please switch off all those distractions and pay your full attention. If you want, you can take notes. I expect that lots of you will be taking notes so that you can refer to your notes in future. Okay. Now, what is there in this webinar? What we are going to talk about? What are the eligibility norms for SME IPO? That means who can come out with an IPO, SME IPO, What are the conditions? Okay, then we are going to discuss the steps which are involved in an SME IPO, what strategies you should adopt or follow, what preparations are needed for an IPO, what are the key benefits of SME IPO to the company, and what are the benefits to the promoters. Okay, this is something new we have added this in this particular webinar. Earlier, this was complete only benefits. Now it has been divided into two categories, one for company and one for the promoters. As we hear a lot about MSMEs, that is micro, small and medium enterprise, but the situation is something different. Okay, they say it's a growth engine for the growth of the company, for the new India, this, that. But what is the current scenario? Let's look into it for a minute. Okay. Right now, as per the government records, there are over 6 crore MSMEs in India registered with the government of India, more than 6 crores. Out of that, a lot of companies, lakhs of companies are SMEs. They are just exclude the micro businesses. There are more than 3 lakhs small industries, small companies, small enterprises. Okay. This is the sector which contribute approximately 27% plus to the country's GDP. It's very important and very important sector. This is the only sector which is the largest employment provider in the country. But despite that, what is the current scenario? 72% of the MSMEs are stagnant since last 5 years. This is a survey conducted by Consortium of Indian Associations. मैं नहीं बोल रहा हूँ ये. The survey says that 72% of MSMEs are stagnant. यानी या तो वो उनकी ग्रोथ नहीं हो रही है और या वो लॉस में है. So this is the current scenario. Why? What is the reason? क्यों है ऐसा? Because shortage of funding. Shortage of funding. That is the biggest reason. There are so many other reasons also, but this is the main reason. Okay. Now there's a belief in the market. People think that only large companies can do IPOs. This is a wrong belief. This is a myth. This should be busted. And today I'm going to bust this myth. If you are also a believer that only large companies can come out with IPOs, I'll bust that myth. Okay. How? Today, alongside large companies, SMEs are also going for IPOs to unlock value and wealth creation. How that is done, I have already shown you, and I'll show you some more examples, right? So let's dive deep. Now, one question for all of you. What is the biggest challenge for SMEs? What is the biggest challenge for SMEs? I would like all of you to answer. SMEs के लिए सबसे बड़ी समस्या क्या है? What is the largest problem, biggest pain point? Finance, company value. More answers. Out of 145 people, only 2 have responded. 145 people are attending the webinar right now. Process, talent. I'm asking the biggest pain point, the biggest problem which the SMEs face. There are so many problems, but what is the main problem which the SMEs are facing? Low cost funding. Funding. That's good. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. That's awesome. So funding is the biggest problem. Shortage of funds, you can call it, because funding is very, very essential. And what happens? If you don't have sufficient funding, what happens? If you are driving a car on empty tank, okay, if you are running the car on an empty tank, what will happen? What will happen? Either you will have to push the car on the way, or somebody else will have to push the car because the fuel will be finished. Same way, if you don't have sufficient funding in your business, forget about growth. Even to day-to-day business is going to be very difficult for you. because you need funding for the day-to-day operations as well as for growth. So funding is very, very crucial, very, very important. So when there's a shortage of funding, what people do normally is they go for debt or say loans. It may be from banks, from institutions, from friends, relatives. It may be against collateral or without collateral. But whatever is the source of loan or debt, it always carries an element of interest. ब्याज देना पड़ता है. अगर आप लोन लेते हैं तो आपको इंटरेस्ट देना पड़ता है, ब्याज देना पड़ता है. Okay, and the interest rates normally keep rising. बढ़ता रहता है ब्याज, and that's a big pain point in funding, right? In a way, you are working for the bank. You are not working for yourself. Suppose you have got 10 crore limits or loan from a bank and you are making a profit of 2 crores. So out of that, what is supposed to be, you are going to pay approximately 1.5 crores as interest. 1.5 crores out of 2 crores. So you are working for the bank, not for you. Okay. What is the way out? What is the way out? The solution is an IPO, initial public offering. But most of you must be thinking that no, we are not big enough. हम बहुत छोटे हैं, अभी इतने बड़े नहीं हैं कि जो हम IPO कर सकें. We are not big enough for an IPO. So my dear friends, today I'm going to bust this myth. Okay. Now, even small can dream big. If you are a small company, don't worry, you can dream big. You can get funding by way of IPO if your business is reasonably okay. Okay. Now, why you should go for listing? There are two reasons. I'm giving you two examples. One is unlisted company. Suppose your company as of now or as on date is unlisted and the net worth of the company is 10 crores and you are the 100% owners of the 10 crore net worth company. That means you are holding the entire shares in your business and you are the 100% owner. But suppose you get your company listed, in that case, you will have to dilute 25% shares and you will be remaining with 75% holding. So that means 75% holding will be with you, 25% will be with the public. And the valuation of the company becomes 100 crores. So which one is the better option? A or B? 100% of unlisted company or 75% of a 100 crore listed company? Tell me, which one is a better option? Obviously. Thank you. Because even if you are holding 75%, the valuation of the company is staggering 100 crores. Though the net worth is still 10 crores, but the market valuation or the valuation you can say is 100 crores. So that is the magic of an IPO, right? Now, it's not about raising funds only. When we talk about IPOs, people think that IPOs are for fundraising. No, my dear friend, that is just the minuscule idea. That is just the entry point. IPO is not the end goal. IPO is just the beginning. So this is not only about fundraising. Okay, what it is about? It's about unlocking value. You have been working for decades. कब से आप लोग अपना business में मेहनत कर रहे हो? You have created lots of value, but that value is not recognized by anyone. So you have to unlock that value by way of IPO. Okay. Then it's for wealth creation. As I have given two examples at the time of starting this webinar, how wealth is created. A company valued at say 40, 50 crore becomes a company worth 500 crores or maybe more than that within a time of 8 months, 9 months, 1 year. Isn't that wealth creation? You did not earn that money in your business. That wealth is created because you got your company listed on the stock exchange. So that's how wealth is created in the stock market, right? There are other pain points also apart from funding. So let's just touch upon these points. Because you have got limited funds, your growth is also limited. This is very obvious. When you are short of funds, your growth is very, very slow. You may reach the level which you want to achieve, but that's going to take a pretty long time. Okay, fast growth is not possible. Then valuation is not there, no valuation. How? Your 10 rupees share is just 10 rupees. But when you get it, the company listed, your 10 rupees shares may be 20 rupees, 50 rupees, 100 rupees, 500 rupees, maybe more than that. So that is how valuation is achieved at. You don't have any recognition till the time you are an unlisted company. Nobody recognizes you, not the financial institution, banks, and all that. Okay. There is no wealth creation. Whatever net profit you are making, that is being added to the wealth of the company. But as seen in the examples, wealth creation, real wealth creation is after the IPO. Okay. Now, most of the small businesses, they are burdened with heavy debt. So that is again one reason that you should consider going for an IPO, because out of the IPO proceeds, you can pay off the debt. IPO से जो पैसा रेज होता है उसमें से आप अपना लोन भी वापस कर सकते हैं. Okay, so you become a debt-free company. Till the time you are unlisted, there is a lack of systems and controls. All the desired systems and controls are not there. There is less transparency in an unlisted company because compliance is less. When you get listed, the compliance increases slightly and you become more reliable. People start trusting you because they understand that once the company gets listed, that means there are systems and controls in place in your business. Okay. Now, when we talk about large scale, what is large scale? Large scale means companies with a turnover of more than 250 crores. How many companies are there in India having a turnover of more than 250 crores? This is a simple question. How many companies in India has got a turnover of more than 250 crores? साल की 250 करोड़ से ऊपर टर्नओवर वाली कितनी कंपनीज हैं इंडिया में? Any answers? No idea. 15K. More answers? More than 10K. Any more answers, please? 2K. Thank you. Awesome. There are 15,000 plus companies in India with a turnover of 250 crores. Okay. How many of these companies, ये 15,000 में से, how many of these companies are listed? How many of these 15,000 companies are listed? Any answers? ये 15,000 में से कितनी कंपनियां स्टॉक एक्सचेंज पे लिस्टेड हैं? %, 10%, little bit, 7K. Good, good. Thank you, thank you. 6,000 plus companies are listed on the stock exchange out of 15,000. That makes it somewhere around 35%. Why I'm giving these figures? We are going to compare it with the SME sector. Okay. And you must be proud that India is the country where the number of listed companies is largest in the world. India is the only country with largest number of listed companies. There is no other country as compared to India with listed companies. Okay. Now, how many SMEs are there in India? I'm not talking about micro. I'm talking about SMEs, small and medium enterprises. That is having a turnover between 5 crore and 250 crores. 5 करोड़ से 250 करोड़ टर्नओवर वाली कितनी कंपनीज हैं इंडिया में? 65,000. Any more answers? I'm not testing your knowledge. This is just to make the interaction a bit interesting. थोड़ा सा मजा आए ना आपको, आपको भी involvement रहे, so that you don't become drowsy. No idea, 50K. More answers, please. More than 1 lakh. Any more answers? Any more answers? 750. Thank you. Awesome. Well, the number is 3 lakhs plus. इंडिया में 3 लाख से ऊपर ऐसी कंपनीज हैं या ऐसे बिजनेसेस हैं जिनकी टर्नओवर 5 करोड़ से 250 करोड़ के बीच में है। 3 लाख। 3 लाख में से कितनी कंपनीज लिस्टेड हैं? एसएमई सेक्टर में 3 लाख कंपनीज हैं, उनमें से कितनी कंपनीज लिस्टेड हैं? 700 कंपनियां, जस्ट 700 कंपनीज out of 3 lakhs. Why? Why? What is the reason? What is the reason? Why only 700 companies are listed out of 3 lakhs? What are the reasons? The reasons are simple. Lack of awareness. People are not aware that there is something known as SME IPO. Most of the people don't know. There is lack of knowledge. People don't know, even if they have heard SME IPO, they don't know how it is done, what is exactly SME IPO, what is the process, who can do it, who cannot do it. They don't know. Then those who know, most of them, they fear of the process. They are always afraid, अरे बड़ा मुश्किल काम है यार, कैसे होगा, कौन होगा? So you don't have to be afraid of this, because there are professionals like me, like us, who are going to help you in getting your company listed. Okay, so you should not be afraid of getting listed if you want. We'll take care of your IPO. Then indecisiveness. They cannot decide. Some people want to get listed, but sometimes they think about, okay, we'll do it. The other time they'll think, no, we don't do it. Then they say, do it, don't do it, do it, don't do it, like that. They are not able to decide. Why? Because of lack of awareness, fear of the process, fear of compliances. My dear friends, if you want to grow, you have to be compliant, and your company should follow all the compliances and grow properly as per your decision, as per your desire. Okay. Now, let's look at this scenario. SMEs listed on Bombay and National Stock Exchange are approximate 700 plus. So these 700 companies, the market valuation of these companies, 700 companies, is 1.5 lakh crore. 1.5 lakh crore इनका valuation है. 700 कंपनियों का market valuation is 1.5 lakh crore, 1.5 lakhs crore. The total funds they raised was just 10,000 crores. These 700 companies raised only 10,000 crores from the market. Now the valuation is 1.5 lakh crores. That is the wealth creation. This is the way how wealth is created. Out of 700, more than 250 companies have migrated to the main board. They have gone out of the SME section to the main stock exchange. Okay. The average valuation, if we look at, of these 700 companies is 100 crore plus. Average हर company 100 करोड़ से ऊपर की value वाली. All these 700 companies, if we take average valuation per company is 100 crore plus. Okay, but all of them, they did not raise 100 crores from the market. The average funds each company raised from the market was 12.4 crores. 12.5 करोड़ से कम एवरेज आती है हर कंपनी की, but market valuation is average 100 crore plus. Okay, this is the magic, right? Those of you who don't know about me, let me tell you briefly about who I am, what I do. I'm a chartered accountant by profession with 44 plus years of experience. I've been doing lots of project consultancy, bank loans, funding, financing, and all that. I've also published a business newspaper known as Money Media for around 8 years in the 90s. Okay. I have advised dozens of SMEs in their IPOs, and I was the sole advisor, and I marketed the 105 crore IPO of Canterville Retail India Limited. All of you must be knowing about Canterville Retail. I was the person who got them 105 crores raised from the market. Okay. Now I'm on a mission to help 1,000 MSMEs achieve growth in their business through SME IPO routes. So who is going to be a part of this journey with me? Who is going to be a part of this journey with me? Say me. Good. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Those who are not answering should also be agreeable that this is something which they should consider, right? Now, why you should think about an IPO? What are the benefits? You want to know? Do you want to know the benefits? If you want to know, say BIO. That is bring it on. Say BIO. If you want to know the benefits, say BIO. That is bring it on. Good. Thank you, everyone. So all of you want to know the benefits, why you should think of an IPO, right? First, we'll discuss about the benefits for the company. Okay. The benefits for the first benefit for the company is that when you go for the IPO, you get fresh funds in your business. And when you add fresh funds in your business, more funds in your business, you achieve faster growth in your business. That is as simple as that. More the funds, you work freely and you can achieve your dreams. You can, if you have got expansion plans, diversification plans, you can achieve all of that, right? The next benefit is there is no loss of control. If you go for private equity or something like that, in that case, you have to give the investor a seat on the board of directors. He will become your partner and he will be interfering in your day-to-day business. Okay. But in case of IPO, nobody else is going to be on the board of your company and you can do your business freely as per your choice. Okay. Then an IPO will increase your company's net worth. And what happens when your company's net worth is more, it becomes more attractive to the lenders. If you have to get loans from institutions or banks or elsewhere, your company becomes more attractive. They give you loans easily, बड़े आराम से देते हैं, because net worth आपकी बढ़ती है. Okay. Now, when you are a listed company, your credit limits are increased, because when the banks see that this is a listed company, for listed company, the credit limits are normally more as compared to unlisted companies. Okay. And they get better interest rates from the banks. So this is another benefit. Next benefit is that you get free coverage and publicity through financial media. There are so many TV channels who will be coming to interview you because your company is doing well, you are growing your business, giving returns to the investors, your shares are traded in the market. So when you are growing, you will be getting free publicity, free coverage on those channels, on the websites, and on the stock exchange website as well. Okay. So you get free coverage and free publicity. Otherwise, you would have to spend a hell lot of money for that. But being a listed company, you get all this free of cost. And what happens when you get free coverage, you get more visibility, additional visibility, and that will grow your brand value. That will grow your brand value. People will become aware about your brand, and that will add to more business, more sales. Okay. Now, when you are having funds, when your visibility is better, you have a better bargaining power. And when you have a better bargaining power, you get better deals. As simple as that, right? You could become a debt-free company, as I told earlier, if you are having a loan or a debt in your company. You can pay off that debt or loan out of the funds which are raised from the IPO. So you can become debt-free, Karj Mukt. Okay. Now, you can unlock value in your business. As I've told you earlier, your 10 rupee share is 10 rupees, but once you get it listed, you unlock the value, right? You can raise funds at zero interest cost, because whatever funds you raise from the stock market, you don't have to pay any interest on that. जो फंड आता है आईपीओ से, उस पे कोई इंटरेस्ट नहीं देना होता, ब्याज नहीं देना होता. Okay? And furthermore, this amount is not refundable. This amount which you raise from the stock market by way of IPO is not refundable. Okay? And banks give you preferential treatment to listed companies. When you get your company listed, the banks will be giving you preferential treatment, right? You pay lower interest rates when you get listed, right? Don't have to explain, this is a simple point. Next, listed companies has higher credit limits, okay, as compared to unlisted companies. Now, what for the promoters? Because you have been working in your business maybe for 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, maybe more than that. Your father was working in the same business. Your grandfather was working in the same business. Decades of hard work you have put in to grow your business, but the value is not unlocked. When you go for the IPO, you unlock this wealth, you unlock this value, which has been created over the years or over the decades, right? Then when you get your company listed, dramatically your net worth increases. How? Because when you go for IPO, you dilute 25% of the shares in your company. You are holding 75% in your name or in your family's name. So when the value of that 25% in the market increases, proportionately the value of your 75% shares also increases. So that dramatically increases the promoter's net worth, as you must have seen in the examples, 50 crore company becoming 500 crore company. Okay. Then if you need cash, sometime there's a need for funds, you can sell your shares in the market and get instant cash. Okay. Because you have got 75% shares with you, a small portion you can sell at any time at a higher value, definitely, and get instant cash. Then the focus till now, you have been focusing on generating income in your business. You have been focusing, your focus was generating income. When you go for listing, your focus shifts for generating wealth instead of making income only. Okay. Now, you can get personal loans from banks against the collaterals against your company shares by giving the shares as a collateral security. You can get loans from banks if you need it for your personal purpose. Okay. Your respect increases, your social status increases when your company becomes a listed company. So why not go to the main board? This can be a question. Okay, if we have to go for the IPO, why not the main board? Why not the main board? There are so many reasons for that. Because when we go for an SME IPO, there are very less compliances as compared to the main board. If you get your company listed on main board, there are lots of compliances in the IPO as well as after the IPO. But in case of SME IPOs, compliances are less at the time of IPO and after the IPO also. Okay. What are the major differences? Because SME companies, listed companies in the SME segment, have to file half-yearly balance sheets, brief balance sheets, abridged balance sheets, half-yearly. Whereas in the main stock exchange, you have to file quarterly detailed balance sheets. Okay. The expenses are less in case of SME IPO. Due diligence is also less. because the norms are easy and relaxed. Okay. Since this is relaxed due diligence and relaxed norms, it takes lesser time. So IPO is cleared faster and completed faster. Okay. Then listing fee on SME platform is also negligible, and that is again a benefit. When you go for SME IPO, post-listing compliances after the IPO are also less. These are the major differences in main board and SME IPO. Do you want to know the eligibility criteria? Who can come out with an SME IPO? Do you want to know? If you want to know, say yes. Good. Thank you. Awesome. So who can come out with an SME IPO? Let's look into this. Your business must be at least 3 years old. If you want to come out with an SME IPO, the first condition is that it should be a business in existence for at least last 3 years. पिछले 3 साल से बिजनेस आपका होना चाहिए, उससे पुराना हो और भी अच्छा है, but not less than 3 years. Okay. Next requirement is that out of the last 3 years, your company or your business should have been profitable in at least 1 year. If it is profitable in all the years, very good. But even if you are profitable in any 1 year out of the last 3 years, it's good enough. Okay. You should have a positive net worth. The business should not have negative net worth. As simple as that. Not to be explained. Net tangible assets of 1.5 crore in your business. Net tangible assets. Intangible assets are not considered like debit balance in the profit loss account or goodwill or copyrights, things like that. They are not considered. Okay. Even non-companies are eligible. Even if you are not a private limited or limited company, no problem. You are running your business as a sole proprietor or in partnership or as LLP, no problem. This can be converted into a private limited and then limited, and you can go for the IPO. So even a sole proprietor can think about it. Partnership firms think about it. LLPs can think about it. Okay. Now, there is another condition that during last 1 year before the IPO, there should be no change in the promoters. पिछले 1 साल में promoters change नहीं होने चाहिए. Suppose it's a partnership firm and there has been a change in the partners. So after the change, you have to wait for 1 year, because during last 1 year before the IPO, there should not be any change in the promoters. Okay. And after the IPO, your paid up share capital should not be more than 25 crores. That is the limit. Paid up share capital, I'm talking about face value, not the market value. Face value of your share capital after the IPO should be less than 25 crores. Okay. Which sector or which industry? If you look at my screen, all these sectors, any business which is legally allowed to be carried on in the country is allowed to go for SME IPO. There is no restriction, whether you are in manufacturing or trading or a service entity, service provider, no problem. If you are in retail, if you are in metals, if you are in fertilizers, chemicals, anything, any business which is legally allowed is also allowed to go for IPO. Okay. Now, there is a difference. All this which we talked about was eligibility. You should have capability also. What is capability? If you want to get admission in IIT, all the IITs say that you should have at least 60% marks in your 12th grade. 12वीं class में 60% marks होने से you are eligible to get admitted to IIT. But do you get admitted? No. because there's a lot of competition. Similarly, if you want to go for SME IPO, these are the conditions. You must fulfill these conditions which we talked just now. But since people are going to put their money in your company, they are going to invest their money in your company should be attractive enough for the investor. You should be capable of attracting the investors. Okay. So that makes the difference. So do you want to know the process? Who wants to know the process? Say me. If you want to know the process, say me. Fast. Come on. Come on, come on, come on. Me. Good. So all of you who want to know the process, how you can go about it, right? So let's look into this. The process, this is a 5-stage road, 5-stage process. Stage 1, preparations. Second stage, filing. Third stage, marketing and distribution. Fourth stage, listing and value creation. And fifth stage, that is final stage, where you are a listed company. Very easy. It took just a few seconds to tell you all this, but let's look deeply into this. Normally, this takes around 90 days, around 3 months time, after you have all the papers with you, all the information ready. Then it will take approximately 3 months time to get your company listed. Provided the MCA site works properly, there is no other distraction, there is no other disturbance, it will take less than 90 days. Okay. How? First stage, preparation. First of all, you have to appoint IPO advisors. For your information, let me tell you, we at IPOCARE, or say my company's name is ABM Capital Options. We are one of the leading IPO advisors in this country, and we can help you in conducting your SME IPO successfully. Okay. Then we have to appoint lead managers or say merchant bankers, or one and the same thing. Then the merchant bankers along with us will prepare a feasibility report on your IPO. Whether the IPO is feasible, how this is feasible, all the things are going to be discussed in that. What is going to be the size of the IPO, how much money we are going to raise, what is going to be the valuation, what is going to be the share price, everything will have to be decided. Then the lead managers will do the due diligence that everything is all right. Okay. Even if there's any problem, that has to be mentioned in the prospectus or the offer document. Based on the information provided by you, every major information you have to give. Okay. The lead manager will compile an offer document, which is known as DRHP, Draft Red Herring Prospectus, or in common language, that is known as prospectus. Okay. Offer document. Your balance sheets for last 5 years are to be restated according to the stock market format, and legal opinion is sought and everything is done. We have got to get legal compliance certificates, financial certificates, all these certificates are required. Pollution certificates, everything. Okay. Then the second stage comes. We decide about the bankers who are going to collect our share applications, because people are going to deposit their stock applications in various banks. We have to get into an agreement with the bankers who is going to be accepting our share applications. We have to appoint intermediaries, other intermediaries also, like registrars, transfer agents, and brokers, underwriters. All those intermediaries are to be appointed. Then we file the draft red herring prospectus or say the offer document with the stock exchange, maybe BSE, maybe NSE. Okay, one of them. Then they will raise certain questions, queries. We have to reply to them and we have to satisfy them. After reviewing the offer document, they will give their green signal, and after their green signal, we have to file the offer document, approved offer document, with the registrar of companies. The third stage, we have to prepare information presentations, everything, press releases for road shows, because we have to conduct road shows for investors, brokers, etc. Okay. Then we select anchor investors. Who is going to be an anchor investor? Anchor investor means one company or one person who is taking, say, 5-10% of the IPO single-handedly, right? Then we launch the IPO. We start receiving share applications. The IPO remains open for normally for 3 to 5 days. On the specified day, we close the IPO and we enter the fourth stage now. That is listing. After the IPO closes, shares are allotted to the applicants. This is done by the stock exchange. Your registrar will take care of this in consultation with the stock exchange, because the stock exchange is the authority to decide about the basis of allotment. Then we get listing approval from the stock exchange. Then our shares get listed on the stock exchange and starts trading on the specified dates, which is normally 8 to 10 days after the closing of the IPO. Then all the intermediaries like registrars, merchant bankers, advisors, unka jo bhi balance tha, whatever balance is to be paid, that is paid off first. And the remaining funds are received in your company's normal bank account. So it's a simple process. Okay. And you become a listed company. You want to see some more case studies? Do you want to see some more case studies? If you want to see, say yes. Say yes. Good, good. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. So if you look at this is a data compiled by Economic Times. Okay. This company, Cool Caps, they came out in IPO of 38 rupees per share. The IPO size was 11 crore. It was in March 24th in 2022. It has given a return of 862%. Varanium Cloud, 122 per share, increase 753%. This third company, 135 per share, growth 675%. This fourth company, growth of 554%. This company, 70 rupees share, 546%. So this is the kind of growth which companies are seeing. Okay, this list continues. Now, if we look at the data year-wise, these are the companies, top 10 companies which came out with SME IPO in 2020. And if we look at this company came out with an IPO at 15 rupees per share. The current price is 206, giving a gain of 1,274%. This company, 45 rupees per share, current market price 560, gain 1,144. This Advit, this company, 51 rupees per share, 475 current market price, gain of 831%. Like this, you can have a glance at the list. These are the companies, some of the top companies which came out with IPO in 2021. You see the kind of appreciation, the gains which they are getting. 37 rupees IPO, current market price 684. 58 rupees IPO, 872 market price. 93 rupees IPO, 1,338 market price. 102 IPO, 1,328, like that. These are the companies which came with SME IPO in 2022. You see the kind of valuation, 37 rupees, March 22, as on date, 270 rupees per share. July, 67 rupees, current market price, 381. June 10, 135 IPO price, current price, 760 rupees. This company, 38 rupees, March 22, 181 current market price, and like that. So this is the kind of appreciation, this is the kind of value creation, this is kind of wealth creation, which is possible through stock market. Okay. If we look at consolidated figures, SME Exchange has given 69% SME segment, 69% return during 2022. Whereas if we compare it with the Sensex, that is main index of the Bombay Stock Exchange, the average return in Bombay Stock Exchange in the Sensex was just 4%. And in SME segment, this was 69%. Okay. Now, how value creation takes place, you have seen. How value creation. You can become a unicorn company also. Do you know what is a unicorn company? Do you know what is a unicorn company? What is a unicorn company? Any answers? What is a unicorn company? No answers? $1 billion valuation. Yes, absolutely right. A company which has got a market valuation of $1 billion is a unicorn. How many unicorns are there in India? How many unicorn companies are there in India? Any answers? Any answers? 300. Any more answers? Make a guess. Make a guess. Make a guess. 250, 100. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for your guesses. The number is 107. 107. These are some of the companies which are unicorns. And this is a real good example. This company, EKI Energy Services, this came out with an SME IPO in April 21. In April 21, this company came out with an IPO. Okay, SME IPO. The total IPO size at that time was, market capitalization was 96 crores. Value of the company was 96 crores. And in March 22, within 9 months, this company became a unicorn company. Just in 9 months after listing, the 96 crore company became a unicorn. From 96 crores to $1 billion. This is a real magic. This Mr. Manish Dabkara is the owner of this company. And this is a history created by him. This is the only company which came out with an SME IPO and is a unicorn. Okay. So how many of you have gotten their mind blown? Kis ka dimag ka batti jala? Who feels excited? Who feels excited? Come on. You got doubts? Good. Thank you everyone. Thank you everyone. So now, if you have got an IPO dream, if you have an IPO dream, what you can do? You have to fulfill the IPO dream. And how you can do that? How you can do that? But before you decide, let me tell you that Reliance Industries, started by Mr. Dhirubhai Ambani, was an SME like you till 1977. Reliance was an SME. They came out with an IPO of just 4 crore rupees. 4 crore का IPO किया था 1977 में Reliance ने. आज कंपनी का वैल्यू कितना है? Lakhs of crores, लाखों करोड़ का valuation. How it is possible? Just because of the stock market, just by making their company listed. Okay. All of these companies, they started with like an SME in the SME segment. Lakshmi Mittal, Mr. Munjal, Anil Aggarwal, Mr. Nadar, Shiv Nadar, Mukesh Ambani, Mr. Singhania, Azim Premji, Mr. Kotak, Sunil Mittal, all of these people, they started as SME, small company, and now you can be the next. They are big companies now. You can be the next. This is up to you. If you take the plunge, if you make the decision, if you take the right steps, you could be the next. So what next now? अब क्या करने का है? आपने सारा ये देखा, सुना. What next? What is the next step which you can take? You think of an IPO, think of us, because we are going to do justice to your IPO. We are going to get it through, and we are going to make you a listed company. Because we at IPOCARE, we are providing complete IPO solution under one roof. You don't have to run here and there for different people. We will manage the entire show for you. Okay. Name of the game is fundraising. Okay. Because when you got more funds, your life becomes easy as a businessman. So we do start to finish hand holding from scratch till the time of getting funds, and not till that only. Even after the IPO, we'll be associated with you for a long term, maybe for next 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 10 years, till the time everything is going fine with you and us. We'll be hand holding you. We'll be taking you for the second round of funding, third round of funding, getting you migrated to the main board. Everything will take care of. Okay. Now, those of you who are interested to discuss their IPO possibilities, they can book a one-to-one Zoom call with me. I'm giving the link here. If you want to discuss in detail, you can book a one-to-one meeting with me